Last night in Seattle, Matt Duffy's RBI single in the top of the ninth sent the game into extra innings. However, it was Mitch Haniger's 13th inning solo shot to send the Mariner faithful home happy. Tonight, right-hander Chris Archer goes to the hill, looking to continue his recent run of success and even the series at a game apiece. Tonight we greet you from Seattle, Washington, in the shadow of Mount Rainier for Game 2 of this 3-game series between the Rays and the Seattle Mariners. Hi again, everyone. Welcome to an evening of Rays baseball with Doug Wechter, Dwayne Stats. Great to have you aboard. We'll hear from Michelle Margot throughout the evening as well. Rays dropped the first game of this series in extra innings last night, but Doug, we have two of the hottest teams in baseball squaring off here in Seattle tonight, and two of the hottest hitters, starting with the Rays' own Matt Duffy.
Yeah, you're not kidding. Matt Duffy coming in with a .319 average. That's 8th best in the AL, and he's just flat out getting it done. He had 3 hits in last night's game. You see what he's done over the course of the last 25 games, hitting over .350. The 7 extra base hits are huge right now, and he's also doing it when it counts, Dwayne. Look, he's hitting .342 with runners in scoring position for the season. So he's obviously a huge part of this Rays lineup, and he's been doing it really well. And then on the other side, you got Gene Segura. You know, he's second in the major leagues with 77 hits. Over the last 20 games, he is absolutely crushing the baseball. .425 average. You see that .598 slugging percentage. He is one of the big weapons that this Mariners lineup has, and they can score some runs.
Well, this will be Game 6 of this 9-game road trip. And when we come back, Chris Archer, who has put together 3 very good starts, will be on the hill. We'll hear from Archer and Michelle Margot.
Well, on the hill today is Rays opening day starter Chris Archer, who has really had a tale of 2 seasons so far. Let's take a look at his first 12 starts from the season. In the first 6 starts, has a 6.61 ERA, and then in his last 6, a 2.33 ERA, and opponents are only hitting .204 against him, whereas in his first 6 starts, they were hitting .306. And Archer spoke to the media on his start to the season.
I wasn't executing at a high level. Other teams capitalizing. Now I'm executing at a high level and just wiggling out of jams that I wasn't earlier in the season. I'm throwing the ball pretty much the exact same. My stuff's the same. My location's a little bit more improved, but I mean, it's just balance in baseball.
Well, Archer looks to continue that trend today here in Seattle against Marco Gonzales and the Mariners. Game 2 of this 3-game series coming up with Mr. Dwayne Stats and Doug Wechter. First pitch next.
We welcome you back to Seattle, where the Rays will be facing left-hander Marco Gonzales tonight. Gonzales comes in with a mark of 5-3. And we'll take a look at the Rays starting lineup presented by your local Ford dealers. Daniel Robertson's going to lead it off. He'll be at shortstop. A right-handed hitting lineup against the lefty C.J. Cron, followed by Matt Duffy. Wilson Ramos at DH. Johnny Field in center. Rob Refsnyder will hit 6th. Carlos Gomez in right, the number 7 hitter, in front of Christian Arroyo. And Jesus Sucre will be behind the plate and bat 9th.
Well, here you see Marco Gonzales going in for his 12th start of the year, just around 60 innings, 53 punch-outs. You know, he's got a 4-pitch pitcher. He's not going to overpower you. He's around 90 miles an hour with the fastball, 87-mile-an-hour cutter. He'll throw a curveball, and then his real big weapon is this changeup. He likes going out there with the changeup. He's a typical left-hander, likes to go fastball changeup combination, and that's really what he's going to be attacking this Rays lineup with tonight. Got the defense behind you. Go ahead and set that for you. Left to right, Span, Heredia, and Haniger. And third to first on your infield, Seager, who's been playing outstanding third base. Segura, Gordon, Healy over at first. And then your catcher, Mike Zunino.
All set to play baseball. The Rays against the lefty tonight, sending Daniel Robertson to the plate to lead it off. And here is the first pitch of this game. Up and away. .71 degrees here in Seattle. Supposed to be in the low 60s by the time this game is complete. And the pitch is a strike, now 1-1. Well, as we mentioned, Gonzales only 26 years old, and the Mariners think a lot of him. 2. Here's the breaking ball to go with that changeup. And here's how good he's been over the last 3 starts against Texas, Oakland, and Detroit. No earned runs in that stretch. Check on a pitch down. 2-2.
Well, you can already see why, Gonzales is so hard to hit, because he mixes his pitches so well. I mean, he comes at you with a fastball, but he'll throw any pitch in any count, especially behind in the count. You got to watch out for the off speed.
And now ball 3. Well, the Mariners like his pitchability. To be so young, he has a very good idea of what he is trying to do and can do out there. And a little tap back in front of the mound. He'll handle that with a toss to Healy. Daniel Robertson out, number 1.
You see a little changeup right here from Gonzales. And Robertson obviously not able to stay back on that pitch. Little dribbler back to him. Easy throw to first base. You got your first out.
And here is C.J. Cron. Cron hitting .271. He had 2 hits in last night's game. Fouls the first one out of play for a strike. Here's the split for C.J. Cron against lefties. .328, .248 against righties, and that falls right in line with what Gonzales has done against righties and lefties. And at batters hitting .286 off him, and lefties .242. Tapper foul, just a piece of that one. So a 1-2 count. Well, one of the reasons Gonzales has such pitchability with his approach, his dad, also a left-hander, pitched in the minor leagues and has coached in the minor leagues. It's outside third, down in front of Mike Quattaro, the third base coach for the Rays. And I think she's at it again.
She is at it again. She had 4 highlights. We put together a highlight package yesterday, Dwayne. And now, well, actually, no,
yeah,
that's a different girl.
It
so
is.
They
have depth.
Depth. That's right.
Great depth
on defense all around.
Tapper foul, still 1-2. Well, here's an opportunity to rest them from time to time.
Yeah, it's a long season.
Yep, long season, sometimes a long homestand.
That's right. And you also
there
see
she
him,
is down the right side.
Yeah, you see him changing positions too during the game. They're on the shift.
It's foul out of play. Count holds at 1-2. Well, a fan in the second deck came up with a baseball, and a fan in the deck just above is now going to go thirsty.
Just lost out on about $12 drink.
Foul ball right back off the base of the stands. Well, that's the yin and the yang of existence, the give and take. Souvenir baseball, missing beverage.
That's right. Most people will take that souvenir baseball. Can always get another beverage.
foul ball again, and extended at bat for Crone here against Gonzales. Well, the Rays at the 500 mark. They had climbed 2 games over. Dropped that 13-inning game last night, 4-3, after dropping the final game in the series in Oakland. Two and two. Well, already 15 pitches for Gonzales. He's averaged a little over 16.5 pitches per inning this year. And Crone continues to foul pitches away.
You're starting to see a lot of the Rays putting together some really good at-bats. Yesterday we saw Joey Wendell go out there and put together an 11-pitch at-bat, and here you see Crone working this at-bat to 10 pitches. And you know, with Gonzales on the mound, he's not a big-time strikeout pitcher, so guys are able to keep fighting, keep battling.
And a liner foul, look out. That one skipping through the stands. The fan in the first or second row had the glove up, but somehow that ball avoided the glove. He's looking for the hole in it now.
I think that's the first ball the third base girl didn't make. First play out of yesterday and today. They've had a pretty good series over there.
And that pitch is inside off the plate, and the count is full. It's a dozen pitches here in this at bat. Let's see how lucky number 13 is. And a high fly ball back into left. Span will have room about 5 steps from the warning track. So a 13 pitch at bat, out number 2. So Matt Duffy's on his way to the plate. And today's jackpot brought to you by the Florida Lottery. The Rays going 12-6 since the middle of May to get to the 500 mark as they are now. The Mariners and the Brewers both 13-5. So you're looking at the 2 hottest teams in baseball, 2 of the 3. And now Matt Duffy. He bounces 1 foul. Duffy hitting .319 overall.
Well, you're talking about these 2 teams, and there's so many similarities between the 2 teams. Look at their team batting average. Tampa Bay is second in the AL with a .260 team batting average. Seattle, they're fourth with a .258 team batting average. Then you look at their pitching. You know, Seattle's got a .392 and Tampa's a .394.
Duffy fouls it the other way, out of play, 0-2. Well, this could stack up to be an interesting cat and mouse game between Gonzales and the Rays lineup. Stacked with right-handed hitters. Gonzales back and forth, not overpowering, but good enough. Pitch in to Duffy, and he fouls it back, 0-2.
Well, he's not overpowering, but he just, you know, he'll come at you. He doesn't have a lot of swing and miss stuff. That's why we're able to extend these at bats. You see CJ Crone go out there with a 15 pitch at bat. Now Duffy going out there and extending his at bat.
Piece of that one foul, just enough to stay alive on that 0-2 pitch. And Duffy did go. Jim Wolf, the plate umpire, made that call to say he offered. And the Rays are out 1-2-3. Gordon, Segura, and then last night's game decider, Haniger. Mitch Haniger will hit third. D. Gordon leads off, followed by Gene Segura and then Mitch Haniger. Nelson Cruz, the DH in the cleanup spot, followed by Kyle Seager and Ryan Healy. Denard Span hits 7th. Guillermo Heredia, the number 8 hitter, the center fielder. Mike Zunino, the catcher, bats 9th.
Here you see Chris Archer's numbers for the year going into his 13th start. Got the 70 punch outs, you know, and he's really been throwing the ball well lately. He's gone 6 straight starts, going 6+ innings.
And the first pitch to Gordon. That's a called strike, a fastball in there. Gordon starts the night hitting .292. 1 home run, 13 runs batted in. And he lines it into left center. That's going to fall for a base hit. Field up with it. Gordon, a big turn at first. Gordon was 0 for 6 last night for the extra inning game. And after the game, he went out and took batting practice by himself.
Yeah.
Picked up the baseballs himself. Just wasn't happy with the offer and thought he needed a little extra hitting.
You know what it reminded me of when I saw the video, and this is going to make you laugh. Jake Taylor from the movie Major League.
Yeah.
When he went out there and got a little extra work in when they were making the playoff run.
Oh, he was out there picking up the baseballs, and the sprinklers were going off.
Yeah, and that shows you what kind of veteran he is, though. I mean, look, he's so dangerous. He's so good, but he's got the work ethic to go along with it.
Gene Segura, up and in. Ball, no strikes. Segura at .335, tied for 3rd in the league in hitting. It's another fastball too close. 2-0. Segura, 28 years old. There's Gordon over there at first base. Great speed. Gordon 16 of 18 in the running game. There he goes. Good jump, pitches high, and the throw down hits him, bouncing into center. And the throw to third on the recovery by Robertson is not going to be in time. Gordon steals second and winds up at third. Well, a great effort on the recovery by Robertson, but no chance to get the speedy Gordon.
Well, here's the deal. I mean, he got a great jump, first of all, and is probably going to be able to steal that base at second, but the throw from Sucre looked like it bounced off either his helmet or somewhere off of D. Gordon's back. And because of that, you know, Gordon is so aggressive on the bases. There you go, right off his back. He doesn't stop. He doesn't sit there. He understands that the ball was not caught, and all he's thinking about doing is getting the extra base.
Well, he stole 60 bases in the National League last year. And now here is a ball high to Segura to walk him. And just like that, trouble for Archer.
Well, you got a guy in Segura who's stolen 12 bases on the year himself. He's tied for 3rd in the AL. You know, there's so much speed and so many things that these Mariners can do on the bases to you. And it's really tough when you give them free passes.
Well, the base hit by Gordon, a steal of second, a move to third on the error charged to Sucre, his first error. Always a tough error on the catcher on a play like that. Segura walks, and here's Haniger, who settled the game last night.
Well, here you see the 13th inning home run walk-off by Mitch Haniger. 4 hours and 16 minutes into the game, he said, you know what, enough is enough. I'm going to finish this. That's what he did. It's really hard to hit the ball out to right field here at night, too. I mean, he's got raw power, and he's just getting it done when the team needs him.
Yeah, it's 380 to the power alley out there. Fence 8 feet high. Strike. A slider that broke out over the plate, taken by Haniger. There's the 380 marker. strike called on a fastball. 1-2. Now Haniger last year hit 16 home runs. He missed 6 weeks of the season. He was hit by a pitch in the jaw and later an oblique strain kept him out. 12 home runs already this year.
Yeah, and he's doing it clutch. 7th inning or later, he's hitting .323 with 10 home runs. That's first.
Over to first, back in is Segura. Gordon taking a few steps down the line from third with that move to first. One-two pitch. And a little wide. 2-2. He would not chase slider. 1-2. So the count is now even. We have Nelson Cruz behind Haniger in the lineup. Lifted up the right side. That will be out of play. Hold the count at 2-2.
Go ahead and set the defense for you for the Tampa Bay Rays. Left to right, Refsnyder, Field, and Gomez. Then third to first, you're going to see Duffy, Robertson, Arroyo, and Crone. And then behind the plate, we got Jesus Sucre.
Archer trying to get the first out of the inning. Strikeout would be big. 2-2. Fastball away. 3 balls, 2 strikes.
You see Archer just not having a consistent release point at this point in time. You know, he's just missing with the slider. It's got good tilt to it right now, but he's been missing glove side, which means that you're typically pulling a little bit in your mechanics.
Well, here we are in the first. This turns out to be a big pitch right here with Nelson Cruz on deck. And the 3-2 to Haniger. Just a little piece of that one to stay alive. And that pitch out over the plate.
Yeah. 3-2 slider here. He's already thrown 3 sliders to Haniger this at bat, and that one catching a lot of the plate.
This will be the 8th pitch of the at bat to Haniger. And he's had a couple of those sliders stay out over the plate in this at bat. Runner goes, swing and a miss, throw down. He is out at second base. And the Rays turn the strikeout into a double play with Gordon remaining at third. So Haniger strikes out. Segura slow and getting up after being tagged out at second.
Well,
Arroyo took the throw and put the tag on him.
You know, obviously
he's holding that left side.
Well, the play itself couldn't have, I mean, it couldn't have gone any better for the Rays. First of all, you're going to see another 3-2 slider, and this was just a perfect pitch. Started right down the middle, dropped underneath the bat of Haniger, and then Sucre, like we've seen so many times this year, I mean, he's throwing out 25% of the guys caught stealing, and here you see it.
And how about Arroyo coming up with that throw? That's a great job by the young infielder to come up with that throw and put the tag on Segura.
Absolutely. Arroyo completing that play. A lot of guys would have missed that, but Arroyo watching it all the way into the glove and being able to make the tag. And now you got 2 outs with D. Gordon on third instead of first and third with no outs.
So Gordon, the runner at third for Nelson Cruz. Cruz a tap back to the mound, halfway to first, and the toss from Archer to Crone, and the Rays get out of a big spot. No score at the end of an inning. The first inning it turned out to be, and the Rays escaped that without giving up anything. Reminder, great combo savings available for every Thursday home game, including June 7th when the Rays meet this Mariners ball club. You can get a $19.98 ticket combo, including a 20-ounce bottled Coca-Cola beverage and chips with every ticket purchase. Visit RaysBaseball.com for more info. Rays up. Wilson Ramos, the Rays' designated hitter, out of the cleanup spot, takes a fastball from the lefty Marco Gonzales. 1 ball, no strikes. Pitch is high. 2-0. Field next, and then Rev Snyder. Well, the Rays saw a few pitches from Gonzales in the first inning. Now a strike, and it's 2-1. Well, you'll see good hitting teams do that. Work pitchers, see a lot of their pitches. Bounding ball to third.
You know, it could be so frustrating for a pitcher, even when you're getting guys out, when they're putting together at-bats that are 10, 11, 12 pitch at-bats, and you're just wanting to wipe them out in 3 pitches or less, and you're just standing out there and you're thinking, man, I'm working way too hard right now.
2-2 to Ramos in the dirt, a full count. Well, the Rays have had 4 hitters up there. 3 of them have had 3-2 counts. Johnny Field on deck.
It also tells you that Gonzales really doesn't have a wipeout pitch, and that's why he doesn't rack up a lot of Ks. So these guys are able to foul off a lot of pitches.
Bouncing ball to short. Segura makes the throw to first. So that's the first out. Sure, they'll keep an eye on Segura out there, who was slow getting up after he was caught stealing on the backside of the double play. And he still doesn't appear to be moving with much ginger, does he?
No, he doesn't. And I'll tell you what, I mean, he is a huge part of this team, offensively and defensively. But I mean, the offensive stats speak for themselves. 77 hits, you know, second in the big leagues, just behind Jose Altuve, who has 80.
Johnny Field fouls it the other way. Out of play it goes for a strike. Well, Gordon back of second base. A couple of steps toward the shortstop spot as they put the shift on here for Johnny Field. Field homered in the game last night when he and Gonzales hit back-to-back home runs. He's out in front of that pitch.
Well, here you see the home run by Johnny Field. That's a second home run on this road trip, on this West Coast swing, and Field's starting to feel really good out there.
Yeah, he hit one Wednesday night in Oakland, and he also had a double in that game. 1 ball, 2 strikes. It's been fun to watch Johnny Field. His game is all about doing things correctly and playing the game hard.
Yeah,
he does.
He does. You know, he does everything the right way. He's the kind of guy that the more you get to know him, the more you root for him.
That is strike 3 call. That pitch started out and had a little cut to it. He does throw that cutter.
Yep. Well, that's exactly right, Dwayne. He set that pitch up perfectly. What he did was go outside corner with a cut fastball. He starts it off the plate. And this is really hard to do because you're starting this pitch off the plate, sliding it back just at the last second, trying to catch that corner. And that's exactly what Gonzales was able to execute.
Now Rev Snyder. Here's the first pitch strike. Fastball right down the middle. Now he drops the breaking ball in. There's the curveball. He hasn't thrown that as much, but that will be a viable pitch, and they actually think they'll see more of that curveball from him as time goes by. And there is strike 3 call on a fastball. Rev Snyder caught looking. 3 up, 3 down. An inning and a half has gone by, no score. Here's a look at that. Strike him out, throw him out, double play, and the exchange to get the caught stealing on the backside.
Yeah, absolutely perfectly done by Jesus Sucre. You know, obviously no wasted movement, no wasted motion. He's got the cannon going down to second base, fires a strike over 80 miles an hour and could not have been executed any better.
Kyle Seager leading off the bottom of the second, taking a low fastball. 1 ball, no strikes. One. Seager, Healy, and Span due up in the second inning against Chris Archer. Two and one.
Well, that's the pitch right there, the changeup, and that's the one he's been working on. He came into spring training from Chris Archer, and he really wanted to concentrate on that pitch. He knows he wants to add that, and if he can add a changeup effectively, it'd make him so dangerous on the mound when you're featuring, you know, a mid-90s fastball, a wipeout slider, and then for that third time through the order, if you're able to mix that third pitch in, it just makes it that much easier on you out there.
Into center field. Johnny Field right there with a lot of room. That's the first out here in the bottom of the second inning. That gives Seager, by the way, 0 for 15 in his career against Archer.
Yeah, obviously Seager not seeing the ball well off of Archer, and here we're going to do a little bit of scouting report on Arch. You got your May momentum. He's been dominant in the month of May with a 1-2 record, but he's got a 2.33 ERA in just 6 starts. All 6 of those starts, he's gone 6+ innings. And then the slider, slide me to the moon. 44% of the time he's throwing that slider, and it's absolutely wipe out when he gets on top of it. It'll be around 88 to 90 miles an hour.
Ron Healy takes the first pitch strike, fastball to begin this at bat. Foul the other way. 0-2. Well, Archer is 1-2 lifetime against Seattle, but with a 280 earned run average, that covers 6 games started. And here in Seattle, he's 1-1 in 3 prior starts, but they haven't seen him since May of 2016. It's a swing and a miss on a fastball up as he hits 96 on that high fastball.
Well, Archer doing a great job of expanding the strike zone vertically. Here you see it. You got the 4-seam fastball grip. Just going to throw this pitch right by you, and that's exactly what happened. See the 96 trail. Sucre sets up perfectly for it. It's perfect execution on a fastball up in the zone.
Here's Denard Span, and you know the tough at bats he will give pitchers. Takes a strike on the inside corner. He's 5 of 18 since coming over from the Rays to Seattle. Overall hitting .242. Pitch is high. 1 ball and 1 strike. Denard disappointed, the word he used, about leaving the Rays and leaving home. And you can fully understand that. Checks his swing. It's 2-1.
Tampa boy getting to come back home and play for a while, and you know, he was obviously loving it, and we loved him while he was there. I mean, he had great veteran presence in the clubhouse and on the field.
Ground ball right back over the mound and through into center field. Archer winds up in a sitting position on the front side of the mound. And Span picks up hit number 2 for Seattle.
Well, here you see a 2-1 fastball delivered, just catching a little bit too much of the plate, and we've seen Span do this a lot this year. just go right back up the middle. He's not one of those guys who's trying to pull everything. Wherever you pitch him, he's trying to deliver the ball, and that's what he did. You know, he sees fastball catching a lot of the plate. Just extend his hands and hit it right back up the middle of the pitch.
Here's Heredia. Guillermo Heredia, the center fielder. Fastball into him. 1 ball, no strikes. Heredia hitting .293. Pitch in on him. 1-1.
Boy, Heredia, another one of those ultra aggressive hitters, especially early in the count. If he sees anything near the zone, you know, he's swinging.
Two on the fastball, trying to extend his arms and fouled it. Pitch is a little off the plate and a check swing in time. Low and outside, missing with a slider.
Boy,
count is full.
Good take right there by Heredia. I mean, that was a good slider. 87 miles an hour, good tilt, outside corner. Executed pretty well. If you're Chris Archer, you're thinking you should have swung at that. Here we go, 3-2 count, 2 outs. This will be a big pitch right here.
This man will be breaking with this full count, 2-out pitch. Lifted into right center, cutting across. Gomez makes the catch. No runs, a hit, 1 left. Through 2, no score.
Mariners, Nathan Eovaldi's wife had already made him this cake that he Instagrammed, and obviously you can't mail a cake, so they had to send him the picture instead to congratulate him. But then yesterday, they requested Span to come into their clubhouse pregame so that they could present him with a huge bottle of champagne that all of the players and coaches and staff had signed, and Span said he got really emotional and that it meant a lot to him because he's not used to receiving gifts, and he said he really enjoyed having that moment with those guys.
Yeah, that's a great report, Michelle, and because it is who he is.
Yep.
He is one of the more genuine major league players to wear the uniform.
Absolutely, and when somebody does it the right way, you root for them, and you know how good a person is and how good a player is in the clubhouse when things like that happen. You know, you get gifts from your teammates because they care that you've reached these milestones and these goals.
Especially cake.
Yeah, you know what? I never got a cake, and I'm jealous.
Cake and champagne. Yeah, how about that?
Yeah.
One strike the count on Gomez. Upstairs, who doesn't like cake?
Oh, man, you know, I agree. I would have taken a cupcake. That cake looked really good, too. That was professionally done.
Up and away, it's 2-1. Carlos Gomez with 7 home runs. He and Field hit back-to-back home runs in the 5th inning of last night's game. Now 3 balls and a strike. Well, Gonzales, not an overpowering pitcher, although when you consider that he had Tommy John surgery in early in the season in 2016, the Mariners think there's more velocity to come from him. High fly ball towards center. Arroyo makes the catch, and they think with that cutter's going to be a bigger part of what he does as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely, and you know, typically for a Tommy John surgery, it takes about 2 years to come back fully.
Yep.
Now you can come back from it, you know, within a year, year and a half, and you'll be out on the mound. You'll be healthy enough to throw. But for you to really get the velocity, to really get back into the groove, it's a 2-year process. And a lot of guys, you see one right here.
That guy right there.
Absolutely. I mean, a lot of guys you see come back, they come back stronger. You know, I know a guy, I know a lot of guys that I played with that really, I mean, they would gain velocity because of the rehab process. It was such a grueling rehab process.
Interestingly enough, you might be in better shape. Know more about the game. Your mechanics might actually turn out to be better.
Absolutely.
And with that might come a little more velocity.
You know, a guy who comes to mind is Brian Stokes, who is an old teammate of mine. He had Tommy John surgery. A slider. Inside miss, but he had Tommy John surgery. He came back throwing 3 to 4 miles an hour harder on his fastball.
How about that?
3 to 4 miles an hour.
Amazing.
Yeah, so, you know, it's the rehab process. It's getting stronger in that time.
Pitch inside. 2-2. Gomez has gone out to center. 2-2 the count. Arroyo, a ground ball to short. Segura up with that, and the throw to first in time. 2 up, 2 down. So 2 up, 2 down. Here's Jesus Sucre. And the pitch is a strike. When Sucre threw out Segura, we had the exchange rate of 0.86. So you ask, what does that mean? They always talk about the exchange from a pitcher to deliver the ball, get a guy at second. It's somewhere in the neighborhood of 1.1 to 1.3 seconds. That exchange rate of 0.86 is the time it hits Segura's, or Sucre. The ground ball down to third. Seager has it. Sucre is out of there. But the time it hits Sucre's mitt and he makes the throw. That's the quick exchange that a catcher needs, as well as an accurate and strong arm. No score, middle of 3. By Publix, where shopping is a pleasure. And by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Rays in Seattle. Puget Sound. Beautiful evening here for the middle game of this 3-game series. Mike Zunino will lead off against Chris Archer in the bottom of the 3rd. Archer's first pitch is a fastball taken for a strike. Zunino with 8 home runs, hitting .210. He's always shown good power. And as we saw last night, a great throwing arm.
Boy, you're not kidding. I mean, defensively, there's not a lot that are better than Zunino.
2 balls and a strike.
Not just the catch and throw, but also the blocking ability. He comes out here and he's able to handle a staff so well, able to block so well, and that's so important.
Takes that slider up in the zone. 2-2. On deck, the top of the order, D. Gordon. A cut and a miss, and a nice slider right there. Boy, that was unhittable.
Yeah, boy, bottle that one up, because that is the best slider you can throw. I mean, absolutely perfectly executed. Starts right at the bottom of the zone, looks like a fastball coming in at 89 miles an hour, and then you see the tilt. I mean, that's a last-minute breaking ball that is almost impossible to hit.
Now the top of the order, here's Gordon, who singled his first time. On the ground to the right side. Arroyo gathers it, the toss to Crone. And that keeps speed off the bases. 2 up and 2 down.
Huge out right there. Obviously with D. Gordon, what kind of weapon he is on the base paths. 1 pitch, 1 out. Now you see Archer looking like he's a lot more comfortable out there. Starting to feel pretty good out there with his release point. Getting pretty consistent in the strike zone.
And Gene Segura will be the hitter. He was caught stealing, thrown out by Sucre on the backside of a strike him out, throw him out double play in the first. Slider is too low. 1-0. Boy, that first inning was shaping up as if the Rays might have big trouble in that first, but that strike him out, throw him out double play eased that situation tremendously. Now it's 2-0 the count to Segura.
Yeah, that's the kind of play when you go back in the dugout after the inning's over with, and if you're the pitcher, you go up to the catcher and give him a big hug. Say, hey, thanks, man. Got out of that one.
Fastball misses. 3-0. Haniger on deck. And ball 4. 4 straight pitches out of the zone. And a walk in front of Haniger. Tough enough to face Haniger the way he's been swinging the bat lately. Much less with the 2-out walk.
Yeah, big RBI last night, you know, for Mitch Haniger. He's got 12 jacks on the year. And you know, it's the 2-out walks are so tough. You go out there and you feel locked in, you got a chance to have a real quick inning, and then all of a sudden you go 4 straight out of the zone. It can be so frustrating for a pitcher.
Oh, ball 1. So 5 straight misses by Archer. By the way, Kyle Snyder, the Rays pitching coach, under the weather and not at the ballpark. Stan Borowski taking care of the pitching coach duties. And so we wish Kyle the very best and a speedy recovery and hope that it's just this one night. Ground ball chopped foul. 1-1 to count to Haniger. A little difficulty playing the carom there.
Yeah, she didn't play the wall correctly. You know, it's those tough bounces off the wall.
You know, that's the problem. They set the standard so high. You know, a lot is expected.
And see, first of all, the fan. I thought the fan was going to have it. I mean, that was a slow roller. Right, that was your chance. And then she's not real happy with herself on that on that attempt.
Into center field. That's going to fall. Segura turns but hangs at second. Haniger is aboard. Well, with 2 outs, a 4-pitch walk, and now the base hit by Haniger gets Nelson Cruz to the plate. And boy, the first time up, Archer got Cruz on a comebacker on a slider right in the middle of the plate.
Yeah, he did.
I mean, from a Rays perspective, it was a little scary.
Yeah, he might have gotten away with one.
And now we're going to see if everybody's all right out here. They're going to gather on the mound and see if Chris Archer is okay.
Well, wonder what it might be. I mean, right now his velocity looks good. His pitches are in the same kind of velo that he normally does. He's hitting mid-90s on the fastball, 4-seamer. Slider's looking around 88, 89.
Well, they break up the conference. Jim Wolf is out there, and a little further conference between Sucre and Archer. So it would appear that that will not count against the Rays as a trip to the mound. No clear-cut indication from Jim Wolf about that, but no reflection on the scoreboard. And so it appears that it was simply to check if Archer physically was okay.
Yeah. Well, you're talking about Nelson Cruz, and this is a guy who's 6 for 17 off of Archer in his career, so he does see him well.
And there's a swing and a miss on a slider and well located with that one.
Absolutely. I mean, you're talking about a real nasty pitch coming in upper 80s. Hard pitch to lay off of, and obviously Nelson Cruz so aggressive when he goes up there. If he sees something he likes early in the count, he's going to take a rip.
And he just missed down at 97. Well, Archer certainly appears to be fine after making these two pitches.
Yeah, 97 right there on the gun.
Cruz, did he go? Oh, he held up on the appeal to Ryan Blakeney down at first base. That had to be close.
Yeah, we talked about the check swing on a couple of these guys, and Nelson Cruz being one of them. He generates so much power. Once he gets his hands going, it's so tough to stop him. Looks like he made the right call right there, though.
2 men on with 2 men out. A 2-1 count. And he starts to go, but that pitch is a ball. Close, but a ball, and it's 3-1.
Yeah, not the location that Chris Archer wants on this slider. That's going to be up in the zone, just belt high. It misses up for Jim Wolf. But if you're Chris Archer going against Nelson Cruz, obviously you want to get back on top of that slider. Make sure we're missing down in the zone.
And a base hit up the middle. Served into center. Segura will score, and Seattle breaks out in front. Well, behind in the count, and a hittable pitch to Cruz, who drives in his 29th run of the year.
Yeah, Cruz just doing a good job of sitting back. This is another slider. It just wasn't down low enough in the zone, and Cruz being able to stay back on the pitch, drive it right back up the middle for the RBI. And that was a second pitch in a row that Archer threw, second slider in the row that was a little bit more elevated than where he wanted it.
Well, you see Archer first time through, second time through, and then back to good numbers third time through, but the second time through has consistently been an issue. And he doesn't make a very good pitch to Cruz.
Right, the pitch was up in the zone, caught way too much of the plate, and that's why Cruz, being such a good hitter, such a veteran hitter, looking for that slider, stayed back and drove it.
All of this starting with a 2-out, 4-pitch walk to Segura. Here's Kyle Seager. Chops it foul. Seager, a fly ball to center his first time. Seattle on the scoreboard first. One and one.
Well, I think you already mentioned it. With Kyle Seager, he just struggles seeing Chris Archer coming in 0 for 15 on the game against him career-wise. And, if you're Chris Archer, obviously this is the guy you want to go after.
Seager, when he first came up, was a very aggressive hitter. He's toned that down a little bit, but still has an aggressive tendency up there once in a while. Foul the other way. 96 on the fastball.
And a lot of times when you get the aggressive style hitters, you'll see the pitcher go out there and go soft early. And what I mean by that is you're going to see a lot more off-speed pitches early in the count and then setting up the fastball, the hard stuff away. Later in the count or even in. I mean, it's one of those things where you almost can pitch those guys backwards. And a lot of times we've seen that, and we've seen that so far through the series with Seager.
And into left field. That's going to send Refsnyder back on the run over his head. One hops the wall. Haniger has scored. Cruz will stop at third on the double by Seager. It's 2-0.
Well, here you see another slider from Archer that was just a little bit higher up in the zone, a little bit more elevation in the zone than what he wanted. You know, not able to get on top of the pitch and finish out in front. Because of that, Seager able to drive it to left field. You know, this is going to be a good look of it. You know, slider backed up on him a little bit, and Seager able to stay with it. You see his hand stay back and then drive the pitch the opposite field. And Refsnyder having no chance to catch that ball.
Well, with 2 outs, 4 consecutive base runners, a walk, 2 singles, and a double, and it's 2-0. Here's Ryan Healy, 2 men in scoring position. He becomes a very big hitter now, and there's a first pitch strike. Big hitter for Archer to try to keep it a 2-run ball game.
And you see his pitch count also getting elevated here. He's already at the 56 mark. 2 2/3 in.
Now to play the other way. 0-2 the count. Two runs, 5 hits, a couple walks. Tough out, third to get here for Archer in the 3rd inning. Here's Healy down 0-2. And strike 3 called. Healy caught looking, and that will retire the side. But 2 runs score in the inning, 3 hits, 2 men left. 2-0 Seattle.
For all military by sharing a photo or video with hashtag #HatsOffForHeroes. For each post, T-Mobile will donate $1 to support veterans.
Well, while the Rays are looking for their first base runner off Gonzales, the Mariners put together a 2-out rally for a couple of runs in the bottom of the 3rd. So here we go into the 4th, and Daniel Robertson takes the first pitch for a ball. Robertson out on a comebacker on a changeup to begin the game. There's a strike, 1-1. There's a line drive, base hit. Got it over the head of Segura. So Robertson is aboard in the race, put the leadoff man aboard.
Yeah, really nice job here by D-Rob. 1-1 changeup, looked like it was hanging just a little bit up in the zone. 84 miles an hour. See him sit back on that, drive it to left field, start the inning off right.
Well, C.J. Cron had an extended at bat in the first inning, and sometimes those pay dividends later in the game when you've seen so many pitches from the starting pitcher. And there's a breaking ball, curveball to start him here with strike one.
Well, it does two things for you. First of all, it wears down the pitcher faster, obviously, because he's got a higher pitch count. But secondly, like you said, I mean, he's seen over 10 pitches, what, 15 pitches now from Gonzales. So he should come out here knowing what Gonzales features.
Chopped to third, down to second, one. First base, two. Cron grounds into the around the horn double play.
Well, Cron just not able to stay back. Jumped out on front of this off-speed pitch. Taylor-made double play ball, not able to beat it out at first base. And you see a good look of it. And Seager starting it out. Playing pretty deep there on a slower ground ball, but Cron just not able to leg it out. Healy with a nice pick over at first.
I'll tell you, that ball not hit overly hard, but it was a quick pickup and throw by Seager.
Yep.
And a quick turn by Gordon.
Well, how many good plays have we seen by Seager already in this series?
Matt Duffy takes ball one. Duffy struck out his first time. Start of the night hitting .319. That was 8th in the American League in hitting. He's ahead in the count, 3-0. Wilson Ramos would be next should Duffy get aboard. There's a strike, trying to coax the walk, and that pitch borderline, but more often than not, pitcher's going to get that 3-0 call if it's close.
The automatic. Get it somewhere close, typically you're going to be rewarded for that pitch.
And now ball 4. Too low on that one.
Well, you see the 2-out walks are what really hurts pitchers, and that's exactly what happened to Archer in the last half of the inning. Everything happening with 2 outs. So he had the 2-out walk, and that led to the entire inning being extended and giving up the 2 runs. Here you see another 2-out walk right here from Gonzales instead. Let's see if the Rays can turn this into anything.
Wilson Ramos out short to first, his first time around. Hits it on the ground to Gordon. He'll step on the bag himself. The Rays are out in the 4th through 3.5, 2-0 Seattle.
2-0 in the bottom of the 4th inning. Well, it is time now for your Chevy Prospect Spotlight. We're going to take a look at shortstop Taylor Walls, who in low A Bowling Green this season is hitting .337, and in the last 6 games, he's 13 for 23, with 5 of those 13 being extra base hits. He was the Rays' 3rd-round pick in 2017 out of Florida State, guys.
All right, thank you. And with that in mind, the draft right around the corner, and boy, that's going to be an interesting week here coming, as the Rays have an opportunity to continue to build in their minor league system. So we'll keep a close eye on the draft. Here's Denard Span leading off the bottom of the 4th. The pitch is a ball. Span singled his first time up.
It's always fun to see the guys that you get in the draft. You can always be so excited about them, especially the early picks, the first rounders. And I think we have a pretty good amount of picks early this year.
Pitch is down. Now it's 2-0 the count. Arroyo next, and then Zunino.
Such an exciting time for the amateur draft. Those kids coming out. Just something that you'll never forget for the rest of your life.
Well, the Rays, and you're right, they're going to have a number of picks. I think they have pick number 16 to begin with, and then they'll get a pick for losing Alex Cobb, 31st.
Yeah.
So just to lead it off, they're going to get, it would seem, a shot at some pretty good talent. And then they're going to have the 32nd pick as well, and then pick 56. It'll be in the 2nd round. Full count to Span.
It's all
some of these things are so complicated. The Rays get a competitive balance pool pick.
Yeah.
And then they'll go on.
It's impossible to figure it out.
Yeah.
I don't even attempt it.
Now, remember when they talked about new math?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what this is.
I was told there's going to be no numbers tonight.
That's right. Hey, strike 3 called on Span. And Archer picking up the strikeout, his 4th, 5th of the night. And that's the first out here in the 4th inning.
You see Archer with a nice slider. Slide piece on the inside corner to Span.
That's something he'd really like to sharpen up, that slider tonight.
Absolutely. If he can get that more consistent, he can see we've seen a couple of them real good ones on strikeout pitches, but then we've seen a couple where he's just not able to get on top and they're hanging in up of the zone.
Guillermo Heredia, 1 strike to count to him. First pitch fastball for a strike. Look out. Zunino on deck. I'm not even sure he saw that ball headed in his direction. He was standing there right next to the on deck circle, and that ball whizzed right by his knee.
Those guys stand so close, and, especially with Archer, who throws so hard. If you're a right-handed batter and you're standing in that box, you're in the danger zone.
It's a ball, 2 strikes.
You see Zunino kind of nonchalantly almost took one in
that ball was by him by the time he reacted.
I was actually in the dugout in AAA one time and I got smoked.
2-2 the count.
By a Chris Truby. He was up to the plate. Remember Chris Truby? He turned on the ball, and I obviously wasn't paying attention to the game at all. And he hit this ball so hard, it hit me directly in the ribs. And I felt it for like 3 weeks. I mean, it was terrible. Made me feel for, these guys getting plugged. But you realize that it doesn't feel good.
One out, bases empty, a 2-2 count on Heredia. And a cut and a miss. Slider right there got him. So Heredia, strikeout number 6 for Archer. Well, he's looking a bit sharper here in this inning.
Well, you asked for a more consistent slider, Dwayne. That's exactly what you're getting. I mean, look, right here, this inning, we've seen that slider We've seen Chris Archer get back on top of that pitch, release it out in front consistently. And when he's doing that, it's one of the best sliders in the game. I mean, bar none. You know, and it's a pitch that is just almost impossible to lay off of.
Zunino, and that pitch up and in, and it hits him.
Boy.
Fastball against Zunino. Well, the foul ball was after him, and he is hit by a pitch.
Boy, if you're Zunino, you're second guessing what's going on right now. I mean, he almost got dotted with a foul ball, and then you see it looks like it might have caught him in the shoulder. I don't think it got up by the head, but you see him. Well, that was close. And obviously, as a pitcher, you never want to get up by the head. You know,
yeah, that's
no
way
too
close for comfort there.
Right, and that's a 96-mile-an-hour fastball tailing in. And obviously, Archer not trying to put it there, but honestly, I mean, for a guy throwing 96, it'll make you uncomfortable.
D. Gordon takes the pitch down. Two and 0. Well, he was right on to Span and Heredia, and now hitting Zunino and quickly falling behind Gordon. So it has been an inconsistent night for Archer. Fastball is fouled away, 2-1.
Yeah, second inning in a row where he gets 2 quick outs, and then the third batter able to reach without getting a hit. You hope this one doesn't come back to hurt him.
And a pop fly, shallow center field coming in, now there, and makes the catch to retire his side. Well, a man left on base. We will go to the 5th inning, and when we come back, Doug Wechter goes looking for the big fish, or maybe the big fish goes looking for Doug. Before we get into all that, the escapades of Doug Wechter.
Yes.
And episode 1 right here on Late Night with the Rays, and we go to the marketplace.
Yep.
To Pike's down there.
There it is. This is him warning me about what I'm about to get into, and the whole time, look right here. No gloves, boys. You can see it, no gloves. And I'm thinking the whole time it's a great idea going into this, and then right when I put the apron on, it's like, God, what am I doing? You know, I might catch a salmon right in the face.
Hey, you were a great fielding pitcher.
No, I wasn't.
A great athlete on the mound.
I was a terrible
Every pitcher
pitcher
tells you that they're the best athlete on the field.
Typically, oh no.
I had a lot of confidence. That was one take, folks.
Yeah, well, it was one take. They didn't give me any gloves.
We had our director, Gary Nicholas, stand in, and he took a beating.
He did.
And lost a lot of fish. You on the first time were right there, no problem.
I got lucky.
Yep.
Yeah. I got lucky, you know. I thought they were going to give me a gloves, like some kind of paper. Those things are slick. And that guy, it's not like rolling into Publix and asking for a salmon wheel. I mean, they go out there and they're chucking this fish as hard as they can. You know, I don't know.
They do a great job throwing those fish around down there.
Yeah. They only gave me one chance. They said,
and you were up to the task.
I was 1 for 1, and I retired on that one.
1-1 to count here to County Field leading off the 5th. Nice going there.
Yeah. And then they got me because I bought a bunch of fish, shipped it home, and didn't realize how much it was.
High fly ball. Left center field already is there.
Yeah, I did. Yeah. I did have 2 shots, but I was able to catch them both. Here we go.
Hey, here's another one.
So that's our buddy right there behind the Anders. And there he was teaching me how to catch it. Now he's, here, coming back at you.
Yeah,
underhand.
Oh, look at that. See?
Yeah, they got a whole technique and everything. These guys are awesome. I got to talk to every one of those guys, and every one of them lights out. I mean, the head guy, Anders, such a cool guy, and a lot of fun there today.
And your outfit immediately went to the cleaners.
Yes. What if I wouldn't have had that orange slicker on and I would have taken one right off the chest? This shirt's staying in Seattle. It's not getting packed up. There's no way.
So when are we going over to your house when all that seafood arrives?
It's supposed to arrive Tuesday.
Base hit. Ralph Snyder's aboard, and the Rays pick up their second hit. He's 1 for 2. Robertson single to begin the 4th. Now a 1-out single here in the 5th inning for the Rays.
Yeah, there it is. I was so excited.
Yeah.
Coffee in hand, had no clue what I was getting into.
Yeah, getting up a little courage there.
Yeah. I thought it was great. That was a good pick. Guy on the far right, Anders, that's him. There you
are, spreading goodwill.
Yep.
Look at all those guys. Big smiles. They had a great time.
It was a good time for sure. I wonder how many times those guys, I've seen it a couple times where they've gone and some of the other teams have done some other things with them. They had it locked in. They knew exactly what to do.
Want to know the count to Gomez. If they'd thrown a monkfish at you,
I would have jumped out of the way.
You might have, because they are very intimidating.
You told me that they were the ugliest fish in the water. Then I go to the pike place and I actually saw one, and you're right. I don't know how anybody eats those.
Foul ball right back into the screen, 1-1. And if you've never seen one, there it is.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah, that's a little scary to know that that's swimming around out there.
Delicious.
They say that the reason they're monkfish is that throughout history no one would eat them because they were so ugly except for the monks. They'd gather them and eat them.
You had to be a saint.
They became monkfish. And if you weren't a saint, it would turn you into one.
That's right.
1-1 the count on Gomez.
They actually, on that monkfish, they actually have a string attached to it.
Yes,
so people would come right up to it, and then they pull the string, and the people would freak out. It's funny after it happens to you once, because you can look at everybody else once.
There's the 1-1 pitch. Big swing right there on that pitch up. Gomez now down on the count, a ball, 2 strikes. Rays down by 2 runs. We're in the top of the 5th. Quick move to first, and they just picked off Ralph Snyder. Boy, how about that quick move?
Well, we got an absolutely perfect shot of exactly what Gonzales does, and it was one of those quick moves. It's not your typical. He doesn't even look at first base. When he's coming set, he knows he's going to throw over, steps off the mound, rapid throw to first, short arms it, and throws it perfectly to get Ralph Snyder. Boy,
the Rays for a moment wanted to check with the video, but they've given up the idea of maybe challenging that. The Rays lose the base runner on the pickoff.
Yeah, Kevin Cash and the rest of the Rays pretty frustrated right now with the base running. I mean, they've made a couple of key mistakes so far just in the series. And not only this series, but last series in Oakland as well.
Well, you saw right there, that's the 5th pickoff of the year by Gonzales, and the Rays were very well aware of that. So 2 outs with the bases empty in the 5th. Kevin Cash was talking about the Rays losing base runners in last night's game. And now Gomez hit by a pitch. So they replaced that runner at first now with 2 outs. Yeah, Kevin Cash was a little concerned about last night losing some base runners, one on a double play, another one on a pickoff, and this time that's quite a move by Gonzales. He's gone 24 consecutive innings now without allowing an earned run. That's the longest active streak in the majors. He has given up 2 unearned runs in that stretch, but nothing earned. There's a ground ball, and it's just out of the reach of Gordon. Gomez goes to second, and Christian Arroyo has a base hit.
Boy, great job by Arroyo. Working against the shift here. You see a changeup up in the zone. Arroyo goes with it, doesn't try to pull it. He goes with the pitch perfectly. And because D. Gordon was shifted behind second base, you know, we all know how good D. Gordon is in the field and how much range he has. He just wasn't able to get there because he was shifted so heavily toward the left side.
You know, the Rays hit the ball all over the field. And there's a case by the young infielder, Christian Arroyo. He's been very impressive with that. I mean, he comes up and does things that accomplished hitters do. Now Jesus Sucre.
You know, he's doing it at such a young age. I mean, he just seems like he's so developed, so mature at the plate. You know, and Christian Arroyo, and there you see it. I mean, look, he's spreading the wealth.
That's exactly what we're talking about.
Yeah, and how many of these stats have we gone through with our entire lineup? You know, Matt Duffy, Wilson Ramos, everybody is just spraying the ball all over the yard.
Tapper foul. Sucre's behind in the count. 0-2. And as long as I brought Kevin Kiermaier up a couple minutes ago, how about when they get him back?
Oh, boy, we're playing great baseball right now.
Yep.
I mean, then you add him to a lineup and what he can do potentially offensively and defensively. I mean, you're talking about probably the best center fielder in the game. But just the excitement he brings.
0-2 here to Sucre. The turn, nothing doing back there. Rays left a man on in the 4th. 2 men on, 2 men out in the 5th inning. Sucre taps that one back foul. Sucre came into the game hitting .220. He's had some pretty good at bats in that number 9 spot for the Rays, battling opposing pitchers and doing the same right now, battling with an 0-2 count. He swings and drives it deep to left. Span will go back, though. That hangs up and in front of the track. Span makes the catch to retire the Rays. They leave 2. We go to the bottom of the 5th. Look at those hands. 2-0 Seattle. Fifth inning, our AARP take on today. Mitch Haniger, who won last night's game, will hit second in the bottom of the fifth inning. Traded from Arizona. He went to Arizona, in fact, along with Anthony Bonda from Milwaukee, originally signed by the Brewers. There's a base hit up the middle by Segura on the first pitch. And Segura is on base for the third consecutive time. 2 walks and a single.
Boy, to me right there, it looked like Segura was just waiting for a slider. And if he got it, he was going to jump all over, and that's what happened. You know, he just looked like he was so locked in on that pitch. If Archer would have thrown him a fastball, I guarantee you he would have taken it. But to me, he's sitting on this pitch, slider, caught a little bit too much of the plate. That's not a bad pitch. It was down in the zone. You know, obviously it was middle cut, but down in the zone, that's typically a hard hit to hard pitch to hit. First offer.
Now here's Haniger. Takes the fastball for a strike. Now Haniger was part of the 2-run third. With 2 outs, Segura walked. Haniger followed with a base hit. That's a slider on the outside corner at the knees. 0-2. Cruz will be next. It's 2 wide. Ball 2 strikes. Nelson Cruz on deck. Ball there at 95. 2-2.
Archer dealing with the middle of this order. It can be so dangerous. With Segura, Haniger, and Cruz. Not to mention Seager. 2 for 6 yesterday.
2-2 the count. It's going to wind up out of play. Three balls, 2 strikes.
It just seems like he's just struggled all night finding that consistent release point. You know, it's coming and going, and over the last 3 starts, he's been so consistent with it. Really, in the month of May, he's been always inside the zone, but tonight just hasn't found that consistent release point out in front.
The Mariners have had base runners in every inning. They had a threat right off the start. Scored 2 in the 3rd. Leadoff man on in the 5th. Moved to first.
Segura is so good at so many different things. He does have 12 stolen bases on the year. That's tied 3rd in the American League, so you know he's got speed. He's really a 5-tool guy.
Yeah, the fact that they threw him out in the first inning was a big deal. He was 12 of 14 coming into this game. He's going. Pitch hit on the ground. That's going to be off the glove of Robertson, who keeps it near him. And it's second and first. Haniger with a base hit. Segura remains at second. and they're going to give Robertson an error on that.
Oh.
I would hope they would revisit that.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I mean, that looked, to me, I thought it was a great job of just stopping the ball. Here you see Robertson. Yeah, that's a really tough error to give out. That's got to be a hit. Yeah, that's got to be a hit. I mean, look, I don't see any shortstop in the game making that play. I thought it was great range that he even got to the ball and was able to stop it because, you know, we saw Segura taking off on the pitch. He could have gone first to third, but instead Robertson was able to knock it down, kept him at second base, but yeah, that's a tough error.
Yeah, I'm going to put it, my book, as a hit and wait for him to change it.
Yeah, I agree.
So 2 men on. Then here's Nelson Cruz. Pitches down. 1 ball, no strikes.
Yeah, I don't know how you could call this an error. I mean, okay, so now we're getting the ruling. That's a base hit.
Yeah,
so yeah, absolutely.
It's a hit. Good.
Yeah, there is no
part
question.
of my eraser.
That's right.
2 men on. Nobody out. 1-0. Tough spot again for Archer. And a little high. It's 2-0. Well, Archer over his last 6 games had put together a 2.33 ERA, and if you back it up 2 more games, over 8, he's 2-2 with a 2.84, and he struggled a bit tonight. This is upstairs. High slider, and it's 3-0.
Yeah,
that pitch has been elusive for him.
It really has. He has not found the consistency out in front with that slider, and you know, just because he's not finishing, he's getting off to the side of it. You know, staying elevated up in the zone. It's not where you want to be with Nelson Cruz up.
Rays have action in the bullpen. Ryan Sanic. It's a strike, 3-1. It's that 3-0 pitch.
Yeah, 3-0 pitch. It's, you know, middle, but obviously Arch struggling to find the slider down in the zone right now.
And a cut and a miss. Fastball. You just challenged him with a mid-90s fastball up right there.
Boy, it's just a reminder of the kind of arm that Chris Archer has. I mean, at any point in time, he's got 95 in the tank and he can rip it. And so that ball is middle, but it's just pure power right by Cruz. And Cruz definitely sitting on a slider right there.
Ground ball, shortstop. Out at second, over to first, out there. Robertson, Arroyo to Crone. Over to third goes Segura. And the Rays get a big double play ball out of Nelson Cruz.
Huge double play ball right there. And that's the slider that Chris Archer was trying to locate the entire at-bat to Cruz. And he finally got the one that he wanted. Coming behind it, you know, he threw the 95-mile-an-hour fastball, and then he drops that nasty slider right behind him. He was able to get that double play turned perfectly from the Rays infield.
2 outs, and here's Kyle Seager, who doubled in a run in the 3rd inning, picking up his first hit ever off Archer. The shift on for him. He fouls it back. Fouled the fastball away, out of play, strike 1.
Be interesting to see how Archer wants to attack Seager, knowing that he hung a slider last time to him, and that's why Seager was able to get his hands out and extend it, and how he drove it to left field. So it'll be interesting if he stays hard with Seager here.
One ball, one strike. Archer working in the 5th. It's been a battle for him tonight because the slider has not been a consistent pitch for him. And down to first, comes up on Crone, who steps on the bag, and the Rays and Archer get out of another jam We're through 5, still 2-0 Seattle. Our buddies do.
Absolutely.
The Rays would like to get something going here in the 6th. They've been under attack, it seems, all night by the Mariners. The Rays managing to hold Seattle to just 2 runs. And they'll come in sending the top of the order. Daniel Robertson to the plate here in the 6th, trying to figure out the left-hander Marco Gonzales. Fouled out of play, strike 1. Robertson, Crone, and now Duffy. Robertson shoots a base hit up the middle. A liner into center. He's 2 for 3. And the Rays, for the 2nd time in this game, put the leadoff man aboard in an inning. It's been Robertson each time.
Boy, great hit right here to lead off the inning. You see a fastball from Gonzales just hanging too much at the plate. Kind of center cut. Robertson, textbook, driving that ball back up the middle.
Robertson keeping the on-base percentage over 400.
Yeah.
Been on twice tonight. Now here's C.J. Crone. He was out in front. Change up there to start this sequence of pitches.
You talk about the on-base percentage with Robertson. You know, it always seems like he's on, and it's the walks also. He's one of those guys who goes out there and always works the at-bat, and he's willing to take the walk. That's one of the reasons his on-base percentage was so high.
1-1. Yeah, it's great discipline, and you know, he takes pitches that are so close that are off the plate, and other hitters wind up chasing them. Romer Font is up in the bullpen. Pitched briefly last night. And time call. Gonzales into his delivery, but Jim Wolf, the plate umpire, had signaled time.
Well, you want to frustrate a pitcher, that's how to do it. You call late time and get it granted.
Two balls and a strike. cut a foul ball back. Well, Matt Andrees up in the bullpen along with Font. And close, but down and in, and the count is full. Thrown 2 hits last night, full count here in the 6th inning tonight. And he swings and he misses. Gonzales got him out in front.
Yep, got him out in front of that changeup on his front foot. You know, Crone looking to stay back, trying to stay back. And here's a really good changeup. We knew Gonzales has a good changeup coming into the night. Mixes his pitches well, but he relies on that changeup when he's ahead in the count a lot of times, and that's exactly what we saw there to C.J. Crone. Executed a nice 2-seam changeup outside corner, get the strikeout.
Matt Duffy. Ball, no strikes. Duffy, the only walk drawn by the Rays against Gonzales in this game. Gonzales hit Gomez with a pitch in the 5th. Otherwise, Duffy struck out in the 1st, officially 0 for 1. Ground ball, Segura to his right, back to 2nd 1, first base loose. That ball was not going to be in time anyway, but it rolls, the ball rolls past Healy. So 6-4 on the force play at 2nd. 2 gone. Duffy reaches on a fielder's choice.
Boy, look at Segura. He is just so good defensively. Able to fire a strike, turn his hips, and clears his hips. He does it all well. Defense, offense, stolen bases, speed. He's an exciting young player.
Now Wilson Ramos. 0 for 2 tonight. And that's strike 1. Ramos saw his hitting streak come to an end last night. It was an 11-game hitting streak. And a move to first, that quick move again, and Duffy is back in.
Well, there you see it again. I mean, he is always aware of what they're trying to do to him on first base, and not a lot of pitchers do that. And as a left-hander, it's set up for you. I mean, just to work your craft, working the base runners, changing your looks.
There's a shot toward left center field. Well tagged. That ball is going to get off the wall. It's still in play. Duffy's going to score. It's going to be a double for Ramos. Well, that ball hit like a rocket all the way back into left center field, and Kevin Cash wants to talk with the umpire about that. He's thinking maybe that ball got over the fence. It was an 8-foot fence out there, and the Rays want them to take a look at this, at least get together, and here's another look.
Yeah, pitch on the outside corner. We've seen Ramos do such a good job of driving things the other way, and here you see it. It looked like it hit the top of the wall. I couldn't tell if a fan
that's
had
going to be a very close call either way. Right now, it's a double.
Yeah, worth the review either way. I mean, Wilson Ramos just crushing the ball lately. I know he took an over last night, but here's a good shot of it. Great job of tracking the ball. Hits the yellow on top of the fence.
Well, right now it's a 2-1 game. Close enough that the Rays went out to inquire about it, and look at that. Right off the very edge of the top of the wall. on the yellow line.
Well, it doesn't get any closer. Yeah.
So Ramos
Right call,
drives
but
in Duffy from first with a double off the top of the center field wall. His 29th run batted in, and the 8th double.
You're talking about an inch away from being tied. And that ball was crushed. And the fact that it didn't end up a home run is amazing to me.
That ends the stretch of 25 consecutive innings without allowing an earned run for Gonzales. Now here's Johnny Field. The pitch is up over 111 miles per hour off the bat.
Yeah. Almost doing such a good job this entire trip. You know, and before the trip even started, he's been just absolutely on fire. Showing off his strength right there. Hitting for average.
1-1. The crew chief review took 57 seconds, so Alfonso Marquez decided that was close enough to take a look to make sure it was right. Tapper foul. 1-2. Well, the idea is to get it right, and Marquez wanted to make sure they did.
Yeah, you have the technology to do it, and when you're talking that close to a home run, why not take a second peek? Unfortunately for the Rays, just not able to get it, but still in a good situation. You got Field up, who's hitting the ball well recently. With the home run last night, he's taken a couple good hacks so far this at bat.
Down to the count right now. The Rays just a fraction of an inch from tying this game. And strike 3 called. That one at the knees, and Field unhappy. 1 run, a couple hits, and a man left. It's 2-1 Seattle. Go to the bottom of the 6th inning. Wilmer Font's going to be the new pitcher on overall this year for the 13th time. Yep. He was in the game briefly last night for 2/3 of an inning, and he follows Chris Archer.
Yeah, throwing the ball so well so far with the Rays. He's got the power fastball, likes to work up in the zone, 95, 96, and he's got a big curveball coming in behind it. So he's got the stuff. You know, the ERA is a little bit inflated with some of the things that he did before coming over to the Rays, but as I stated, he's been in a couple games with us and throwing the ball well.
He faces Ryan Healy. First pitch is a strike. Healy struck out twice against Archer. Archer worked 5 innings, gave up 2 runs, both earned on 7 hits. Struck out 6, walked 2, and hit a man. Breaking ball is fouled. 0-2. So Archer struggled with his command of the slider, particularly tonight, and wound up with a second straight outing on this road trip, throwing more sliders than he did fastballs.
Yeah, you can see he had the game plan of going with the off speed pretty heavy. And that's what we saw back-to-back games. Wilmer Font, foul ball, 96 up in the zone. You know, Archer coming out, and I wouldn't say pitching backwards, but he has utilized that slider a lot more than he was doing earlier in the season. And, you know, he's pitched so well coming into tonight. And he had a great May. You know, low 2 ERA. He's been going 6+ innings the last 6 starts. Just wasn't able to find a consistent release point on that slider tonight.
A ball, 2 strikes the count to Healy. Denard Span on deck. And then Heredia will hit third in the inning. Now Archer in the outing in Oakland with 45 sliders, 35 fastballs, and 8 changeups. And tonight, 92 pitches, 49 sliders, 40 fastballs, and 3 changeups. 2-2. High shot deep to left off the bat of Healy. That ball is gone. Healy's 9th home run of the year. And the long ball was a problem for Font when he was with Oakland. And with one swing of the bat, Seattle again has a 2-run lead. It's 3-1.
Well, we're talking about Wilmer Font, a guy who likes to expand the zone up vertically, but you know, obviously that's with the fastball. Here's the changeup. He tries to throw the changeup. He wants it down in the zone. Wasn't able to get it down in the zone. And Healy, you know, sitting back and just taking a rip.
Well, Healy coming over from Oakland last year, where he hit 25 home runs, has hit number 9 for Seattle here in this game. Denard Span fouls it back. Towering foul out of play. Span's overall numbers this year. All of those runs batted in a Rays uniform. Roller to first. That'll be picked up by C.J. Cron, who steps on the bag. That's the first out in the bottom of the 6th. Well, the problem with Font's change up there is that it was too good a pitch.
That's right.
I mean, Healy is an aggressive hitter up there, especially with off-speed stuff, and you don't have to throw him a strike. And boy, he hit that ball well to left.
Well, you're talking about a lineup that's aggressive. I mean, overall, 1 through 9, this lineup is going to be swinging if it's anywhere close. And Heredia, the same of what we're talking about. You know, he's an ultra aggressive hitter. So early in the count, if you're anywhere close to the zone, he's going to be swinging.
2-0 the count. He struck out, chased a slider in the 4th inning. Three and 0. Mike Zunino, the catcher, is on deck. Upstairs, 1-out walk. Mike Zunino now will be the hitter.
Yeah, Font just struggling a bit right now with location. You know, it seems like a lot of these pitches are missing up in the zone, and this is a type of team that can take advantage of those pitches.
Arroyo swings to the shortstop side of second now. The shift is on for Zunino. First pitch fastball, a strike. Talking about the draft coming up and how important it is for the Rays, well, every club. Zunino was the third player picked out of Florida in the 2012 draft.
The Gators have put together some strong teams here recently.
Swing and a miss. Fastball at the top of the zone, mid-90s. 0-2. Drives that one down off the plate. Pretty close right there.
Yeah, boy, I don't know where Jim Wolf is looking on that one. If I'm wanting that pitch called. I mean, you see him adjust his delivery slightly. It looked like he went to a slide step. Possibly take Zunino off guard a little bit.
Ground ball, base hit through the hole. Zunino pulled the fastball through the hole on the left side. Already at its second. That pitch came in at 96.
Yeah, the velocity and the stuff is there for Fawn. You know, velocity-wise, he's sitting around 94 to 96. It's just been the location. The location is what's been hurting him. And here, you know, you're going to see Zunino go ahead and pull a 96-mile-an-hour fastball that just got a little too much of the plate.
Two men on, one out, a run home. Rays down by 2 in the 6th. And it will be the top of the lineup. This is D. Gordon. Gordon singled his first time up tonight, 1 out of 3. First pitch away. 1 ball, no strikes. Chop left side, out at second, quick throw to first, got him! Boy, that's a close play over there at first base. And a quick turn in the middle of the Rays infield. And Scott Servais says, hang on. The Mariners want to take a look at the video. We'll take a look at the replay.
Wow, I mean, if you can, first of all, double up D. Gordon, that is the quickest turn I've seen all year. Because D. Gordon is lightning fast out of that box. And it looks like they might be overturning this. Yeah, it looks like he might have been safe. Here, we'll get a good look over, good view right here. Yeah, I would think they overturned this one. It's just so hard to double him up. Everything on the ground, he gets out of the box so fast, being one of the fastest guys in the big ones.
And you saw Gordon's face.
He's like, no.
His expression. You didn't need any caption. Just the expression on Gordon's face right there.
Yep. He said, go ahead and review this, boys. Go ahead and check that.
Zunino forced at second. A good play by Robertson to Arroyo there.
Yep.
And they've overturned it.
I mean, it would be a miracle to be able to double up D. Gordon with his speed and how fast he is with that first step. And he was right on. I mean, as soon as he hit the bag, he looked over like, nah, I'm going to stay out here for a little bit longer.
So it's a fielder's choice for Gordon. And what that does for Seattle is gets this guy to the plate. Gene Segura, who's been on base all 3 times with 2 walks and a base hit. And the pitch he takes for a strike. First and third. Heredia at third and Gordon at first. A run in on the leadoff home run of the inning here by Healy. Over to first. Gordon back in there.
Oh boy. So dangerous on the bases, coming off of a season where he stole 60. Obviously the AL leader in stolen bases this year. Always looking to take the extra bag.
There's a breaking ball, and that's in there for a strike. So he pulls that out of his bag of pitches and drops a strike to get ahead of Segura.
I mean, that's a nasty pitch. You know, 0-1, you get a reaction like that from one of the best hitters in the game. You know you got some good stuff.
Gordon takes off. The pitch is shot foul out of play. And that 0-2 pitch, Gordon was gone off first.
I mean, Font didn't even look at him. Wasn't worried about him at all. Basically saying, you can have second base. I'm going after the batter.
Mariners won the first game 4-3 in 13 innings last night. Rays trail Seattle 3-1 in the bottom of the 6th tonight. Gordon goes. The pitch is outside. Another breaking ball. Gordon moves into second base. He will get a stolen base. That's his second of the night, his 18th of the year.
Yeah, here you see it. I mean, not even taking a look. They're just giving him second base to allow Font to focus in on the hitter right now.
A ball, 2 strikes. Font this year previously with the Dodgers, with the A's, and now the Rays. With an arm like Font possesses, always catches your attention.
Always. I mean, always. That's why we wanted him. You see the stuff he's throwing. It's just if Kyle Snyder and the guys can harness that delivery a little bit more, make him a little bit more consistently into that strike zone.
A little tapper foul back with the mid-90s fastball. Remains 1-2. Rays have dropped consecutive games on the heels of a 5-game winning streak. Winning 12 of their last 18. And right now 3-2 on this trip. 1-2. Bouncing ball third base. Down in front of Brochus. Foul territory.
Yeah. See the fan making the play.
Spreading good cheer.
Yeah, getting a little sugar. I like the throwback Mariners jersey right there.
That from the Kingdome era.
Yeah, it is.
Pitch up and in, and down goes Segura. 2-2. Watch Segura get out of the way of this one.
Yeah,
in a hurry.
This is straight gasoline up in the zone. That's never comfortable for a hitter. I tell you what that does is set up a curveball perfectly if Font wants to go back to it. Boy, you want no part of that if you're a hitter.
Now the 2-2. There is that breaking ball, and he swung and fouled it. Breaking ball up in the zone. Kind of babied that curveball. I mean, he just set him up for that, but
Set him up perfectly.
Wasn't comfortable just breaking it off.
Yeah, he set him up perfectly, but a lot of times when you do that, you try too hard on the next pitch. He tried to get a little too nasty on that curveball and instead wasn't able to get out on top.
Another curveball back at third, backhanded, and the throw. A nice play by Duffy to get Segura to retire the side. Made the throw from foul territory where his momentum carried him on the backhand stop. Stamp that one with a star. 3-1 Seattle. A great moment. It was on this day back in 2000. Fred McGriff belting his 400th career home run. It came at Shea Stadium in the 6th inning of Glendon Rush. Freddie becoming the 31st player to reach the 400 home run plateau with the Rays, Devil Rays in 98, 99, 2000, 2001, and then back in 04 for another stint.
The crime dog.
Yes.
I played with him in 04. He was an awesome teammate. A lot of fun to be around. I loved that swing.
We go to the 7th. First pitch to Ref Snyder is a strike. Rays facing Marco Gonzales.
Well, he had that windmill swing, you know?
Yep.
He'd swing through it and then he'd wrap it around one time.
Mazos up in the bullpen. Oh, 2 now. A little wide right there off the plate. Ref Snyder to be followed by Carlos Gomez and then Christian Arroyo.
Well, they just took a shot of that bullpen. I remember warming up here. That bullpen, you are literally like 3 to 4 feet away from all the fans.
Swing and a miss. Ref Snyder out on strikes. One away here in the 7th inning.
This is one of those. Look how close these fans are, and I'll tell you, the later it gets in the game, you know, the looser those fans get. And
there's one fan really locked in on Archer there.
He definitely watching every single pitch. But yeah, they're the later. I'll just say the later it gets, the more active they get with trying to interact with you, I guess you could say.
That's it.
Yeah. You hear some interesting things out in the bullpen around the 7th, 8th inning.
One and one.
You see it.
That's from the fans' point of view there.
Yeah. And right on top of you.
Big cut and a foul ball.
You know, the one place I hated warming up the most was probably Boston, because they are so good out there. They do their research.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
They know they know everything about you. You know, they got stats, and they let it fly.
Skied into short center. Arroyo coming in. He's there now. Strike out on a fly ball to center. 2 up, 2 down. Christian Arroyo is going to be the hitter. Arroyo picked up a base hit to right in the 5th inning. So he's 1 for 2. One of 5 hits the Rays have off Marco Gonzales. Takes a look at a pitch away. 1-0.
Boy, Gonzales has settled in really, really nicely. I mean, coming into tonight, 19 plus scoreless innings. Here you see it, only giving up 1 run so far.
2-0.
Just mixed his pitches so well. He's used that curveball more than I expected, honestly, coming into tonight. You said it, Dwayne. You're talking about how he's trying to utilize that pitch a little bit more, and that's what we're seeing out of him. Between that and the curveball, the changeup.
Well, the farther he gets away from the Tommy John surgery, they feel he's going to be an even more complete pitcher. 3-0 the count. And he walks Arroyo. Second walk given up by Gonzales. It comes with 2 outs. Jesus Sucre will be the hitter. And to the mound goes Scott Service. He has 6 2/3 out of Gonzales, and that's going to be it. Service, the 3rd-year skipper here, makes the call to the bullpen. Brought to you by the Florida Lottery. A pitching change. Hey, good to have options. That's why the Florida Lottery has over 70 unique scratch-off games. So add a little play to your day with these new games. The Florida Lottery, it's your ticket. Claim it. Must be 18 or older to play. Play responsibly.
Well, you see Marco Gonzales, and he came into tonight throwing the ball extremely well. Not a power guy, but throws a lot of strikes and mixes extremely well. We saw him utilize that changeup early in the game, come behind it with that nice cut fastball. There you see him striking out field on the cutter. Coming in with that fastball, 4-seamer located really well a couple times on field. And just an overall very impressive start for Marco Gonzales, continuing to have a great streak going.
6 2/3 tonight for Gonzales, and he gives way to the left-hander Pazos. James Pazos, and look at his numbers.
Yeah.
And if you expect him to walk you,
yep, right
forget
there.
about it.
That's it. 21-1 ratio on walks. He hasn't walked the guy since his first outing. How about that? He's only given up 1 home run. And look, it's been 21 games since he's walked the guy. So you got to go up there and you got to be aggressive because you know he's going to be coming after you.
He inherits Arroyo at first and will face Sucre. The pitch hit on the ground, headed to Gordon, who steps on the bag for the force. The Rays are out in the top of the 7th, trailing 3-1. On Fox Sports Sun is brought to you by your Southern Chevy dealers. By Eldorado Furniture, the Memorial Day sales event going on now. And by your local Ford dealers. Gorgeous night in Seattle. Temperature in the 60s. And a beautiful skyline. On to the bottom of the 7th inning. Rays trailed by 2. Wilmer Font in relief of Archer. Mitch Haniger leads off here in the 7th. Goes after the first pitch fastball. Fouls it back. Strike 1. Font featuring a lot of heat.
Knew about his arm coming in. You know, the velocity is absolutely there. Every time he's come out, able to expand the strike zone up, it's just setting the pitches, location.
It's inside. 1-1.
You see an arm like that, and you just start thinking, if you're a pitching coach and you're the management, you see it, and you're like, man, if we can just harness this, he could be a weapon in the back end of this bullpen.
There's the breaking ball, and it drops in. 1-2. Yeah, he gives you that 95, give or take, and then drops that curveball in there. That's a completely different look. Upstairs there, 2-2.
He's had a lot of success in AAA. You know, he's a Pacific Coast League Pitcher of the Year.
Yeah, that's a tough league to be the pitcher of the year in.
That is a really tough league. I was there, and I think I made it like 2 or 3 games, and I'm begging to get out of that place.
There's a breaking ball that stays inside. 3-2. Yeah, that's always been a hitter's league, the Pacific Coast League.
Yeah, he racked up 178 strikeouts last year in the Pacific Coast League, and that's a lot of strikeouts in the minor leagues.
It was a bounding ball. You know, for years before baseball got into the expansion mode and the Pacific Coast League was a full-fledged minor league, considered on the West Coast as really the alternate major leagues. Really? There are guys who spent their entire careers in the Pacific Coast League and made more money playing there than they did in the big leagues. 3-2. It's popped up. Crone coming in from first toward the mound. One away. Well, the Rays have another game left here in Seattle. It's coming up tomorrow on Rays Live, the pregame show presented by your local Honda dealer, and the Rays will have a local product on the mound. Blake Snell, he'll pitch in front of the home folks. The rest is will break down Gene Segura.
Well, I can't wait to see Blake Snell throw tomorrow. He has just been absolutely lights out.
Yeah, he's been fun to watch.
Oh.
His development, his demeanor out there, the way he carries himself. Nelson Cruz takes a pitch down. 1-0. Cruz singled in a run. In the third, he is 1 for 3. Alex Colome in that Mariner uniform up in their bullpen. Fastball away, missed by Cruz.
Colome getting in the game last night. Throwing the ball well. He's throwing the ball extremely well for us. That's 10 outings or so.
Cruz had a predetermined swing in mind there and could not stop.
Yeah, absolutely. He's thinking that if anything close gets thrown my way, I'm going to take it and try to deposit it into the bullpen. And you see Stanek
up in the pen.
Yeah, Stanek, that big arm.
This one is down, 2-2. Cruz, who will be 38 years old in about a month, is in the last year of his 4-year deal. You see Seager on deck. And Cruz has come up here and done what they had hoped he would do, and that is hit home runs. Count is full. Cruz hit 39 last year. He had leg injuries last year that plagued him, and still hit those home runs and drove in 119 runs.
Well, the past 4 seasons, he's had 39 or more home runs, and the only time he didn't have 40 home runs was last year. So obviously, and you know, getting to the 39 mark, the power really hasn't decreased at all.
That's ball 4. He takes a fastball low. A walk in the 6th inning given up by Font. One here in the 7th. Kyle Seager due up, and there's Kevin Cash ready to make his walk to the mound, and he has Stanek out there in the bullpen. And that's going to be it. Font will depart. Call to the bullpen brought to you by the Florida Lottery. Change in the bottom of the 7th inning. Reminder, MLB At Bat is your #1 Rays app. Customize your experience to catch every moment this year. Get Rays home screen icons and features, including MLB TV Game of the Day, pitch tracking, in-game highlights, live radio broadcasts, stats, news, and more. Download MLB At Bat today.
Well, here you see Ryan Sanic taking the hill for the Rays. You know, prior to his last outing, he came in with 4 consecutive scoreless appearances. See him coming in on his 10th game here. 12 punch outs. Opponent's only hitting the 171 mark off of him. That big fastball averaging around 98 miles an hour.
He inherits a base runner. Seager at the plate. The fastball at 99 is up and away. An inning and a third for Wilmer Font, 40 pitches. He gave up 1 run on the home run to Healy, responsible for a man on as he leaves. 2 hits, 2 walks allowed by Font. Shot into center field. Field will have to go back on the run. He got it at the track. Johnny Field got back there just in time, hitting the track and throwing that glove hand up there to make the grab. Seager is out, #2.
Boy, wait till you see the route that Johnny Field takes. I mean, he takes a couple steps in right here. You'll see him at the top of your screen. Goes in, and then he realizes that ball might be over his head. Busts it straight back to the fence and makes a great catch here. You'll see. Nice job tracking it all the way into his glove.
Well, 2 outs here in the 7th. Ryan Healy. Fastball a little tight at 99. Not by much. The home run he hit in the 6th inning is 9th of the year. Too low. 1-1. Archer gave up 2 runs on 7 hits in 5 innings. High fly ball center field. Field back on the track waiting, and he makes the catch to retire Healy. We're through 7. It remains 3-1 Seattle. Rays can implement them in the last couple of innings here. The Rays 2 shots left, and here in the 8th, they're going to face their former teammate Alex Colome, who will be making his 27th appearance after working in last night's game. Worked 1 inning in the 8th and picked up a strikeout and hit a man.
You see Colome, you know what he features. We've seen him so many times with the Rays, coming in, throwing gas, and utilizing that cutter a lot. You know, he throws the cutter more than he does the fastball, and he believes in it. Throws it in any count.
Faces Daniel Robertson now to lead off the 8th. The first pitch is a strike in the upper part of the zone. How about Pazos? A third of an inning, 1 pitch.
That's getting it done.
6 2/3 by the Seattle starter Gonzales. 1 for Pazos, now Colome. Look out, there goes the bat. Up against the screening over the dugout. And back down into the Rays dugout.
Well, they just added those screens in this year, too. And you see here. Nice extension right there.
Well, so far of the entire roster this year, Daniel Robertson comes the close to the Kelly Shopping bat toss.
Yeah, but I mean, Shopping's in a league of its own.
Yeah.
You know,
Michelle had to be heads up down there.
Michelle, watch yourself. And that camera well. No, Robertson didn't even take a look at where he threw it. He was just, you know what, I'll take a one.
There it goes again, and he fouls it back, and that one went directly into the dugout. He's shaking up his teammates there.
You know, just making sure
We see
everybody's awake.
Duffy down there. He had to duck to get out of the way.
Yeah,
take a look at this.
Heads up, boys. Oh, the bat boy. It's good reaction time right here. He's got pine tar in his left hand. I think he might let Robertson. Pine tar there. I'm sure everybody's going to be heads up right now.
Fly ball lifted into right. Haniger's there to make the catch. And that's out number 1 in the 8th. Well, everybody's safe so far.
So far, that's right. That's right. Do you remember in Yankee Stadium when a foul ball was hit into the dugout and Don Zimmer, didn't he put the Army helmet on?
Yeah, he wore that for quite a while after that.
Yeah. Zim, one of the best.
Now C.J. Crone. It's a strike to Crone, who's 0 for 3 tonight. Cut and miss.
There's that cutter. I mean, that was filthy pitch coming in at 92. You know, first, if you're C.J. Crone, you're seeing a 95-mile-an-hour fastball up in the zone. Then you come right behind that with a 92-mile-an-hour cutter with some depth to it. It's a tough combination.
Foul ball back. Still 2 strikes.
That was a good job right there by Crone, just hanging in there. And 94 up top. We've seen some tough pitches so far this at bat.
Had to check on a pitch down and away. Boy, if you dated back to the 9th of May in 2016, the Rays are 0-7 here at Safeco Field. And a cut and a miss. Down and away. And Crone, strikeout number 7, registered by Seattle pitching.
Well, you talk about a tough sequence by Alex Colome right here. Now that's an unhittable cutter. I mean, that's starting on the outside corner, you know, darting away at the last second, up around 90 miles an hour. Spins so tight you just can't pick it up. Very tough at that.
Let's see what Matt Duffy can do here with that pitch. Came in to this game 8th in the league in hitting and looks at it down and away for a ball. So he takes the first one. Takes it the other way, foul out of play. 1-1.
Early in the year, Colome's cutter, well, slider, whatever you want to call it, was a lot more inconsistent. You know, and it seems like now that he's worked into the season a little bit longer, and we saw this from him before in the past, goes through a little bit of a spell where his cutter just isn't there. What we're watching right now, it seems so repetitive. It seems like he's got that pitch locked in.
Take a look at that one.
I mean, it's starting down and away, looks identical to a fastball, and then at the last second it's dropping, and for you to get that much tilt on a pitch coming in 90 miles an hour.
And here's a guy, Duffy, whose mindset is to hit the ball the other way.
Yeah. And
he missed that by plenty.
Yeah, you're almost doing Duffy a favor when you pitch him away, but look, with Alex Colome's stuff, if he's on, I mean, that last cutter was just unhittable.
Ground ball, shortstop. Segura's throw to first in time. 3 up, 3 down, go the Rays. Bottom of the 8th inning coming up, 3-1 Seattle. Here with Vladimir Guerrero in the All-Star game here in Seattle in 01. And Tommy Lasorda taking a tumble. Could not completely do the backflip. And Don Zimmer there said, what are we looking at?
Look at Zim.
You see Zim's face, there's only one thing you can do, and that's smile.
He's like, oh, man, I would have gotten out of the way to that.
First pitch in the bottom of the 8th. Span hits it up the middle, and the Rays are going to throw him out. And Sanic threw that hand up there, and that ball got his pitching hand.
Yeah, this is just, unfortunately, pure reaction from Ryan Stanek. And, you know, I've been there. You look at it and you watch it, and you think to yourself, well, why would he put his hand up to try to stop it? But it's all reaction. You know, it's really hard for the pitcher to think that quickly not to put your throwing hand up there. You just want to stop the ball with anything you can do. And, you know, unfortunately for Stanek, it was his right hand, and hopefully, you know, obviously they didn't, well, we're hoping that there was no damage made.
Well, you saw Robertson make that play 1-6-3, but the attention and the focus of concern right now is on Ryan Stanek and that pitching hand.
Yeah.
Well, you saw his initial reaction.
Oh, yeah. And you know he's a tough guy, so anytime you see a reaction like that. Well, make sure you don't do any further damage. When you see a good look at it. Obviously trying to stop it with whatever he can, and hopefully he'll be all right.
He'll take a couple tosses to see if he gets a feeling back, and there's that split grip. Well, that's unnerving.
So many small parts, the tendons, the bones, everything that can get hurt in that hand. And pitching.
Well, he says he's okay. Hey, he's a Razorback.
Yeah,
he
there
went
you
to the
go.
University of Arkansas. And tough to hurt a Razorback.
That's right. Keep him out there. Let's see what we got. He's a tough guy.
That was 97.7 off the bat. That got part of his pitching hand. Yeah, if you're out taking a stroll in the woods, you see a Razorback.
Go the opposite way, right?
As fast as you can. So Span is out 1-6-3. Here's Heredia. This pitch is a ball. Diaz up in the bullpen. He's been shaky the last couple times out, including last night.
That's right. 2 times out. 2 times ago, he got his first loss. Then last night, he blew his first save. So obviously, we've been able to get to him so far. It'll be interesting if he does come in this game.
Zunino up in the bullpen for the Rays. 2-0 count on Heredia. Strike on the outside corner. 2-1. Out of play the other way. Now 2-2.
Well, obviously no lingering effects right now with Ryan Stanek, or he's doing a really good job of masking it, because last couple pitches being in the upper 90s, just shy of triple digits. It's a lot of force you're putting on that hand.
And a foul ball, that one at 99. Seattle scored 2 runs in the 3rd inning, driven home by Nelson Cruz and Kyle Seager. Got a home run from Healy in the 6th. Rays scored their run when Ramos doubled. Then scored Duffy. He's a high pop fly short right, handled by Gomez. 2 gone. Rays scored their run in the 6th. So here we are, 2 outs into the bottom of the 8th inning. Rays in the 9th inning will have the middle of the order due up. Here's Zunino, Mike Zunino, 1 for 2. He was hit by a pitch in the 4th, single in the 6th. Rays and the Mariners wrapping up this series tomorrow. We'll be with you. Our coverage begins at 3:30. The pregame. It's a foul ball back. Blake Snell against Felix Hernandez tomorrow.
Be a lot of fun watching that.
Fun indeed.
Yeah, Felix Hernandez, not the same pitcher that he used to be. Typically sitting around 90, 92 miles an hour. But we all know how good he was and the potential he still has. And then you see Blake Snell just lights out recently.
0-2.
Blake's been a lot of fun to watch. He's been so aggressive in the strike zone. Getting ahead of everybody and then just burying them.
And he's starting to do that more, getting ahead early.
Yeah, he is.
When he does that consistently, he is going to be really something to watch. Already is. There's a wave and a miss. Zunino chases the pitch. 3 up and 3 down. Our game heads into the 9th. Ramos still lead it off. Ball on Fox Sports Sun, brought to you by your local Toyota dealer. Toyota, let's go places. By the Florida Department of Transportation. Drive sober or get pulled over. And by your local Honda dealer. On to the ninth inning. Rays are down by 2. They will be facing the right-hander. Edwin Diaz out there, pitcher number 4.
Well, here you see what he did last night. Second blown save of the year. You know, he really struggled with his slider command. He's still got a lot of strikeouts on the year. He has 50 strikeouts coming into tonight. That's the most among AL relievers. So he obviously has, you know, power stuff. A little bit of a deceptive delivery. His fastball will explode on you. It'll be around 95 to 98. And the slider comes in around 88 to 90. And just really, really tough guy to square up.
Here's Ramos. First pitch is a fastball up and in, out of the zone. Ramos to lead it off. Malik Smith has moved into the on-deck circle. So he'll hit for field. 1-1. Ramos struck out last night against Diaz. Fouls it back. Now 1-2.
You see that delivery? It's so loosey-goosey. He just whips the ball right at you. You know, he's got that finish that it creates so much rotation on the fastball. It looks like it just explodes late at the plate.
And strike 3 is called at 98. Ramos turns around and heads back into the dugout.
Yeah, really perfectly placed fastball right here. Didn't even go to the slider during this at-bat. It was all fastball, all heat. Goes to the outside corner here, starts it off the plate, brings it back, catches the corner, according to Jim Wolf. Tough pitch right there.
Now Malik Smith to bat for Johnny Field. Fastball at 97, strike 1.
Boy, not an easy task for Malik Smith right now. Not playing all night, and then all of a sudden you get to go out and have a pinch hit against one of the toughest closers in the league.
Well, the Rays will go to the bench again following Malik Smith. Pitch is down. Joey Wendell is on deck. He'll hit for Ref Snyder. Two and one. And a strike.
Yeah,
well, the Rays need a base runner to have a chance.
Yeah, and it'd be great to see Malix with his speed out there. You know, he's looking really locked in right now. A couple of close pitches that he didn't offer at.
Ground ball that's deflecting off the pitcher Diaz. Picked up by the third baseman Seager. Throw to first is in time. Ryan Blakeney makes the call over there. Kevin Cash says, let's look at that one.
Yeah, this is going to be really close. It looked to me, you know, just seeing it for the first time with the naked eye, that he might have been safe. Either way, what a play by Kyle Seager. I mean, this guy continues to impress defensively. Here you see Diaz thinks he has it in the glove. Seager knows it's bounced off to him, and yeah, that looks to me like we got a shot at this being called safe. Let's see a little bit of a look here. Ooh, I don't know.
Tough to tell from that angle.
It is. Oh, it's going to be really hard to overturn that, knowing that the call on the field is out. And boy, it doesn't bode well that they're looking at it this quick. Yep. There's the
it
out
goes
call.
into the books as a 1-5-3, and oh my, what a play in the middle of that one by Seager.
Well, I mean, that is just so heads-up baseball right there. Diaz just takes it right off the side, thinks he has it in the glove. He's running over toward first base. Seager knows exactly what's going on, sees the ball reflect off of him, picks it up and fires a strike. Look at that off-balance throw.
My, oh my, how close.
To get a guy with Malik Smith's speed on that type of play is incredible.
Joey Wendell pinch hitting for Rev Snyder. One strike to count. Wendell hitting .292 overall. Down on the count, one strike. Little tapper. Diaz with the pickup and the underhanded toss to end this game. 3 up, 3 down go the Rays in the ninth, and the Mariners have beaten the Rays tonight 3-1. 3-9-0 for Seattle with 8 men left, 1-5-1, 5 men left for the Rays. Gonzales will get the win. He is 6-3. A save for Diaz. Archer, the losing pitcher, 3-4 for 28,599. The Coors Light refreshing finish, and boy, what a play made by Kyle Seager, the third baseman.
Yeah, absolutely. You see it reflect right off of Diaz, and then Seager. This is probably his third or fourth just incredible play in just over 2 games. Seager making such a huge difference in the series so far, taking away base runners from the Rays, taking away runs from the Rays, and he's been a huge part of the last 2 nights' victories for Seattle Mariners.
Time of this game, 3 hours, 7 minutes. Rays and the Mariners tomorrow. It'll be Blake Snell against Felix Hernandez. For Doug Wechter and Michelle Margot, Dwayne Stats, hope you've enjoyed the telecast. If not, the outcome, 3-1 the final. Good night from Seattle.